What's happening, guys? The cameras are going live here. Awesome, awesome. Let's see here. Okay. Guys, welcome. Welcome. Tonight, I'm excited. I've been talking a lot about setting up passive income streams and talking about that, but the reality is it's all about setting up an online business. And tonight or this afternoon, wherever you're at in the world, whatever time you're watching, I'm excited to share this information with you because it's the three things that really shifted my business, and not only shifted my business, but I've gotten back to it now, and I'm seeing results, and it's just so fantastic, and so I have to share it. But before I get going, those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Joe Von Grichten, and I'm a husband, father, entrepreneur, investor. I basically owned or been partnered in multiple businesses over the last 20 years, working for myself. And even in working for myself, right, I fail forward quite a bit, and I'm still failing forward. But the cool thing is all the things I learned, the ahas, I love to share them. So tonight I'm going to share them with you. I live here in beautiful Southern California with my family, where we have 3 beautiful kids. My wife and I, we live here in wine country in Southern California. Yes, not Northern California, not Central California. It is Southern California. We have over 70 wineries here. Guys, you have to come visit. Southern California wine country is absolutely awesome. The wines are good. And to be honest, this valley is a great place to raise a family. Great schools, great public safety infrastructure, all that good stuff, and really affordable living to be in California and be able to live out here. So highly recommend you checking it out. For those of you that are hopping on, I got somebody over here. Let's see. Watching on Facebook. I'd love to hear where you're from, where you're watching this from. If you're watching it on replay, great. I'd love to know where you're from, and tell me a little something about where you're from, like something that would be cool for me to learn, like how I just shared wine country and a great place to raise a family. Put that in there as well. I love learning about different places throughout the United States or throughout the world for that matter, because who knows who's going to be watching this. But tonight is something special to me. As always, I put a lot of thought into these YouTube lives and sharing. I know for some people they're like, just show me how to make money. Well, you know what? If it was that simple, trust me, everybody would be doing it and everybody would be millionaires. We wouldn't have poverty. We wouldn't have, people struggling financially. We wouldn't have people have poor health and horrible relationships and, the inability to contribute to themselves, let alone other people, all that stuff. It just wouldn't work. Right. So, it looks like I might be having some Facebook struggles over here. So if you're watching on Facebook and it's a little slow, I apologize. I don't know why that is. Nothing has changed, but hopefully you're not. You're getting to watch this just fine. But the fact is, I know how you guys feel. You want to start an online business, but you're completely and totally overwhelmed by all the information that's out there. And even worse, it seems like only the lucky ones make it big. The reality is, guys, you don't know what those people have been through. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they've done to get where they're at and where they're finally having success. A lot of times people just see what's happening right now. They don't realize what it took to get there, right? So it's really, really important for you to understand that it's not, they weren't just lucky. It took effort. It took hard work, right? But like I said, I understand how you're feeling because I felt the same way. I doubted myself. I struggled with consistency, and I kept second guessing myself every step of the way. Every move I made, I felt like it wasn't right or it wasn't good enough. Okay. But then I found these 3 secrets are the secret sauces, I like to say. Joe's secret sauces. They're not really mine. They're just things that I've learned over the last 20 years and I'm still learning. And I've made it work for me, and I've shared it with other people and it's worked for them. So I'm excited for that. So you guys ready? Put a yes if you're ready in the comment section. Put a yes if you're ready in the comment section. For those of you over on Facebook, again, I apologize I've had a couple of people, it looks like popping on and off. I don't know. It's saying that my FPS is a little low. So hopefully you're not getting too bad a quality and you can hear me. The most important thing is the message tonight, right? You can take notes and you can rewatch this video. It's also recording over on YouTube. So if for some reason on Facebook it doesn't come out real well, you can always go to YouTube and check it out, because YouTube does a pretty darn good job for me. So, all right. So pretty yes, if you're ready to hear the first secret sauce, right? First secret sauce, the first secret sauce. I love moving around and bouncing around like that. I feel like I'm Bruce Lee, like moving. Or I don't know. I'll date myself. There was The Last Dragon. It's great movie when I was a kid. And you got the glow. And when he would do his kung fu moves, he had like a glow around his muscles and everything. I was like, Mom, I want to be like that. Dad, I want to be like that guy. And they just laughed at me, but they thought it was cute. At any rate, so here's the number one secret. Here's the first secret. It's the number one secret, period. Then, if you don't have this, you have nothing at all. You might as well forget about having an online business or any business for that matter, because you will find a way to either fail or self-sabotage to the point of failure, right? Number one secret sauce. Drum roll, please. Mindset. A lot of you might be going, oh, Joe, come on. Everybody knows mindset's important. No. It's the number one thing. It will make or break you, period, the end. If you don't have a mindset that is disciplined and consistent, then you'll have nothing. What do I mean by that? Let me get out my handy dandy whiteboard here. I love to use my whiteboard here. For those of you who watch videos before, hopefully you enjoy the whiteboard as much as I do. But let's talk about it. All right. It's a simple concept, but you got to be disciplined in your wheel of life. H is for health, R for relationships, W for wealth, and C is contribution. What do I mean by you have to be disciplined in those areas, right? If you don't have health, then you have nothing, right? Right? If you're struggling with your health, your mindset when things get rough starting a business, you're going to quit. What about relationships? Whether it be your significant other or somebody telling you can or you can't, or you're not worthy or you are worthy, whatever the case may be, those things they'll determine your success or your failure if you allow them to, right? And then, of course, your mindset around money and wealth and building wealth. Right now we live in a society where it's frowned upon to be wealthy. It's frowned upon to have success. Nobody should ever have that much wealth. That's very easy for somebody to say that hasn't ever worked for it, right? But the reality is wealth is very important, right? Wealth is a major contributor to how your life is going to be, okay? And if you have a poor mindset around money, around success, around building wealth, then you're going to have a hard time building a business, right? And the last one, contribution, all right? C there is really, it's unconditional love for yourself and for others. What do I mean by that? You have to take time for yourself. You have to, take time, reset, recharge, get some rest, right? You can't just keep going around the clock. The cool thing is, in my business, I specialize in perfecting a 2-hour workday. All right. That's my goal every day, is to get a little bit better at my 2-hour income producing activities. That's it. Right. Okay. So I work on perfecting that so that I can have time to work on myself, work on my health, spend time with my wife and kids, right? And still grow my knowledge, still take time for reading, still take time to journal, gratitude, read the Bible. All of those things are important, because if you don't, and they contribute to your mindset, if you don't have a healthy mindset, if you don't have 100% intention about this, you're not disciplined and you're not consistent, just stop now. And in fact, turn off the video, right? However, if you've maybe had those problems in the past, but you're ready, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then just know that you have the ability. It's a matter of self-awareness. If you have the self-awareness to be balanced and whole, like in a circle, like you see these right here, instead of a flat tire, like where one or multiple sides are flat, they're low instead of full and round, right? Okay. Those are the things that are important for your mindset. Okay. Now, who would have guessed? Who would have guessed that mindset was the number one thing? Anybody? Anybody watching? I'm going back and forth. Sorry, I've got multiple cameras going there and multiple platforms going. So, if you're rewatching this, I would love for your feedback. And if you thought mindset would be the number one thing I was going to say, but mindset is, because really at the end of the day, discipline and consistency comes from having 100% intention. I've talked about it in previous videos. I'll talk about it until the day I die. I share it with my kids about how you do anything is how you do everything. Whether you're pulling the weeds or you're building a business, every detail matters. And it matters whether people are watching or not watching, right? And if you skip those things, then you're setting yourself up for your own failure. Okay. So mindset's a big one. So number two, okay. How many of you think you know what number two is? Excuse me here while I reach down and grab my rag to erase here. But number two is actually really, really important. So it's a proven process. All right. Follow a proven process. Too many people are going on and they're watching YouTube University, which is great. Don't get me wrong. There's lots of great content out there, but they're watching that and they think they're now an expert. They watched, 30 minutes and now they're an expert. Do you know that in order to become an expert in anything, it takes 10,000 hours or more? I put in those 10,000 hours and you know what? I'm still learning. I'm still growing. And the fact I would actually recommend that you always have a childlike curiosity. When somebody says something you don't understand, instead of, fighting it or saying, oh, that's not how we do it, maybe you should be open to, a child's mind and child's curiosity and ask questions. Find out if it actually could make the process better, could make your business better, right? Could make your life better, right? But so follow a proven process. Okay. So what do I mean by that? Well, you got to automate, right? So sales funnels, email marketing, you want to automate all that so it can be completely passive for you. All right. You want to create. Okay. What do I mean by that? You want to create content that's engaging for your audience, right? And you don't want to sell your audience. You want to build relationships with them, just like we did in the circle where your relationships got to be healthy. Well, your relationships with your audience have to be healthy because people buy from people they know, like, and trust, right? And how do you build those relationships? By sell? No, that's only going to get you a few sales here and there. And those are the people that are ready to buy right this second, right? They're not really buying from you because it's you. They're buying from you because you had what they wanted right then and there, right? But the reality is people don't like being sold. They like stories. They like to know that you understand their pain, that you've either experienced it or been through something similar, and you found a solution that's helped you transform your life and get back on track. It's that feel, felt, found theory. So you create content on feel, felt, found. Okay. And then you optimize and scale. Okay. So I'm going to put this in front of my face again. So homebasedblueprint.com, that's my business. It's actually, I follow a proven process, a proven system that's generated well over 100 people that are doing healthy 6-figure businesses and hundreds of others that are doing healthy 5-figure businesses, following a blueprint that's proven. They automate, they create content, and then they optimize and scale. It's that simple. It's that simple, right? When I'm talking about automating, I'm talking about when you put your email into something and then it takes you to another page and maybe another page until you buy. And then on the back end, you get emails that notify you, walk you through the sales process, or offer other complimentary products or services, that type of thing. It's all automated. That's what I'm talking about. Well, my business does that. It's all done for you, right? You don't have to build it. You don't have to be techie. You don't have to figure out how to build a website and build funnels and set up emails. You don't have to copyright. It's crazy how easy our business is. But then the only two things you got to do is create content for it to get people there, tell people stories, share with them, use the feel, felt, found method, or the struggle, solution, and transformation strategy is another one, right? They're basically the same thing, but that's what people like. People understand that, right? And they relate to that. They begin to know you, like you, and trust you. And once they do, if they find value and they need your product or service, then they'll buy from you. You don't have to sell them anything, right? You just kind of gently lead them there. Okay. And then optimize and scale. So optimizing and scale is simple. We look for how many emails we're getting in on a daily basis and a weekly basis. And I look at, what kind of engagement we're getting on social media and the content that's getting the most engagement. We want to recreate that and add more content around that. And we scale it, right? Especially when we can trace that content is not only generating a new email, but those emails are ultimately leading to people becoming customers. Okay. We want to optimize and scale, right? You don't want to keep producing content that people aren't really engaging, that's not really helping you. You want to produce more of the content that people are engaging you, giving you their email, and ultimately becoming a customer. Really easy. And we've got the blueprint. I've got the blueprint for you, right? Okay. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is probably it's the difference between somebody that's having success and somebody that is creating generational wealth potentially, or shifting your family's legacy, really. And that is to reinvest your profits. Okay. So we reinvest. That's the difference between the people that are doing well and the people that don't ever have to worry about money ever again. Is they don't blow all their profit. They reinvest their profits. They use it to multiply their income streams. And they're smart enough to know that to build more passive income streams, preferably passive residual streams, meaning they get paid on it over and over again today for something they did yesterday or the day before or the week before, or the month before, or the year before. I've told the story before. One of the coolest things is once a quarter, I get a commission check still for a software or a platform that I used to sell 10 years ago. It's the best money that that ever comes into my bank account. I'm getting paid for something that I did 10 years ago, still today. Those are really cool. So you want to set that up. So how do you expand? How do you reinvest your profits? Well, expand your business. Okay. So maybe you have an ebook and a course, but now you can create a community. Maybe you can create a mastermind around, or create a seminar around what you do. And all of your customers that have already bought from you will come. Okay. Or, a chunk of them will. Okay. Maybe your brand is so well liked, you can start a print on demand company where you create hats and t-shirts and other swag, coffee cups, magnets, markers, or, all kinds of things. You can create all kinds of things with print on demand these days, right? Just another way for you to expand. And it's completely passive doing print on demand. Okay. And then, of course, the two that I love even more than the first two is you're investing your profits back into a balanced portfolio or dividend stocks. and real estate, right? Okay. Maybe even some commodities like gold and silver. Once you have it, you've invested in it, you can let it just grow, right? You set it up, forget about it, and let it go. Let somebody else manage it. You don't want to be managing it. You just want to do it, let it go, let it earn money for you, and watch your wealth grow exponentially, right? That's the difference between people that are doing well, that have nice homes, nice cars, nice clothes. They never have to worry about food, that kind of thing, to people that are living in mansions, on the beach, multi-million dollar mansions, six-figure cars. They're traveling, to the Swiss Alps to go skiing. They're going to Monte Carlo. They're doing things that your mind can't even conceive at this point, because you just never thought that big. It's not that you're not capable of it. It's just that you've never given yourself the permission to dream that big. Maybe not since you were a kid, right? But no matter where you're at, if you're, living a busy lifestyle, and you're, you know, husband, stay-at-home mom, you know, or an executive mom, whatever the case may be, and you're just too busy, you're missing out on too much in life, then it's time for you to start an online business. Make sure that you follow these steps that I've outlined for you, right? And when you're not sure, I've got the proven blueprint right there. Homebasedblueprint.com. Take a snapshot. Because when you're building, that's all you should be doing with businesses. When you're setting them up, you want an automated business, something that all you have to do is create content to engage your audience. And then you figure out what's working well, you optimize it and scale it. It's that easy, guys. But I'm not going to lie to you. It's hard. It's hard. Because going back to the first secret that I gave you about mindset, it's hard. This will screw up any good thing if you allow it to. Your mind is there to protect you. Your subconscious is there for you to protect you and keep you safe, even if it's protecting bad habits, bad relationships, bad health practices, bad beliefs around limiting beliefs around money, whether you're worthy or not worthy, or shame on them for being that rich. Right? Number one thing right now is whether you have the mindset. Because if you don't have the mindset, if you don't have 100% intention to keep you disciplined and consistent, you'll never experience the success that it will take to create any business, let alone an online business. An online business is the easiest way to do it. If you're creating a traditional business and you don't have the mindset, man, when you hit those challenges, only God is going to walk you through it if you don't have the right mindset. Because it will be a miracle for you to succeed without a strong mindset, right? And it's all about self-awareness, understanding your health, your relationships, your mindset around wealth, and contribution. How those things show up in your life, they can either take from the other areas or they can add in and multiply to each of those areas. Almost like steroids, right? So with that, I want to say thank you for stopping by tonight, watching it, especially on a Saturday. I know time is our most precious commodity. I say this all the time, but it's as true now as it's always been, if not more. Time is our most precious commodity. So tonight I'm going to challenge you to take full ownership of your best life, of you creating your dreams, and coming up with a blueprint. My blueprint may not be the one for you, but at least give yourself the permission to start looking into it, right? Start building the mindset of a successful business owner, right? Doesn't mean you can't build the business at the same time. You can, right? Because remember how I talked about the 2-hour workday that I'm perfecting right now? Part of that is I'm perfecting my mindset. I'm growing my mindset. I'm growing my knowledge and my skill set so that I can offer more value for not just my customers, but for my family, for my community, for myself, right? But I also have the time to get out and, exercise and walk every day. On some days I do a little lifting of weights or, working out. You have to do those things, right? Because if you stop, then all you're doing is just waiting to die. And you're just being a victim. So don't be a victim. Put in the comments that you're ready. Start changing your life, change your family's life. And I'll be here to help mentor you all the way through the process. With that, guys, thank you so much for your time tonight. I look forward to seeing you in another live. Until then, have a great Saturday evening or morning, wherever you're at watching this. And I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Take care. God bless.